Greetings, my fellow gamers. It is I, Wraith King, bringing you news from beyond the mirror, from the other world. And I am very, very sorry about the late upload. I was originally going to upload this yesterday, but every device I use, it just kept recording static. And I have a lot of older devices, and that would explain it. So I couldn't exactly upload this when I wanted to, but luckily I uploaded this at a time where everybody was awake, everyone's happy, everyone's really up and about today, and I'm really glad I got to upload this really early in the morning for you guys and gals out there. So that's on the bright side. Another good thing, I forgot to mention this in my other videos, they actually updated the way you can get awakening stones. They updated it to the original way. If you notice in the special dungeons, you can now receive awakening stones. And they're not worrying about those ridiculous ways so you can obtain awakening stones anymore, where you had to like grind 300 times in one dungeon just so you can awaken one character. And I guess they realized how ridiculous that actually was, and they just went back to the original way. So okay, let me see real quick to confirm that. And Yuri has actually been awakened today. That's a good thing, isn't it? Yep, they changed the old way to awaken heroes, which is great. There's no Evan awakening stones anymore. There's no Karen awakening stones. It's simply awakening stones. I'll awaken Evan some other time. He isn't exactly ready to be awakened. I should have leveled him up to level 40, but the newest Evan isn't all that great. But anyways, Yuri has been awakened today. That's why we're here. We're going to talk about Yuri, and I wanted to talk about her lore, but they have not added the Awakening Hero sheet yet to this little compilation here. They have not added the Awakening Heroes to it yet. So, that's annoying. But anyways, let's take a look at her. Now, I'm glad they actually gave her audio. I'm really happy they actually gave Yuri some audio here. I think I heard something about her having no audio, but apparently they did give her audio, so that's a good thing. But anyways, her first ability is called Alluring Embers. Inflicts 140% magical damage on 4 enemies, decreases the enemy's counter rate by 60% for 2 turns, additionally increases the target's damage received by 60% for 2 turns, which is awesome. But I think I'm sensing kind of a nerf slash buff at the same time, because the increasing the damage received by 60% is pretty serious. That can be used for a serious raid tool. It seems like they're coming out with a lot of raid-based characters and a lot of Castle Rush characters. They just came out with the Awakened Snipper. I think his name's Sniper. Someone said it's with 2 P's instead of just 1. I'm just going to call him Sniper from now on. But anyways, they've been releasing a lot of raid characters and Castle Rush characters. And it seems like she's kind of like a Castle Rush character, but I won't skip the conclusions yet. Let's just keep looking at her skills, and then we'll make a final verdict. But anyways, Silent Flame inflicts 60% magic damage on all enemies, and also inflicts 2,000 fixed damage, and decreases the enemy's buff turretation by 2 turns. Now, 2,000 fixed damage. I want to say that's a buff, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't know, because she didn't just inflict 60% damage on the Korean version. She inflicted, I believe it was 100% magic damage twice? I'm not entirely sure. I can't remember. I don't use her too much, but I do use her a little bit for my DPS team on the Korean version. But I don't really use her too often, so I can't exactly remember the buff, but I do not... there's one thing I know for sure, that 2,000 fixed damage thing was not there. So that is a little bit of a buff. But as for her awakening skill, I'm hoping they didn't change anything with that. Because, first of all, I really did like her awakening skill. I really didn't want anything to go from that. Really, I didn't. So let's just hope they didn't change anything. Blue Flame Ninetales inflicts 100% magical damage on all enemies 2 times. That's pretty good. Additionally, inflicts damage equal to 30% of the enemy's max HP and increases the enemy's skill CD by 20 seconds. Now, that's pretty good for Arena, but it's a little bit of a nerf. What her Awaken ability used to do is it did inflict 100% magic damage, but it gave the enemies a burn. Now, this burn was incredibly dangerous. It was serious. That burn was insane. As usual, we'll be taking a look at the passive last, but that burn, I'm telling you, was really, really dangerous. It pretty much just practically one-shots people. But anyways, she's been a little nerfed, but I'm hoping they didn't nerf her passive ability, because that's one of the reasons why I even put her on my DPS team, because I use a lot of mages, and we'll get to that in a minute. But anyways, let's take a look at her animations. Man, them notifications are getting on my nerves. Okay, let's turn those off, for goodness sake. Okay, yeah, let's turn those notifications off, because those are getting a little bit annoying. But okay, let's take a look at her first skill. Doesn't look like they changed anything with the first animation. Let's take a look at the second one. Okay, now it doesn't look like they changed anything with that. But since they nerfed the Awakening skill, maybe they changed an animation. But I'm not entirely sure. They haven't changed any Awakening animations so far. And it would be kind of strange for them to change hers, because it was so pretty and unique. So let's take a look. No, they didn't change anything with the Awakening skill animations. Well, that's nice. Well, so far, I don't know if I'm going to use Yuri too much, but she is still a great character, but her skills aren't really what they used to be. And for one, she dealt serious damage before, and that really made her a huge help for my DPS team. But that's not the only reason I used her for my DPS team. It was because of her passive. Let's take a look at it. Box Orb decreases the defense of all enemies by 50% and revives once with 100% HP, and she becomes immune to all damage for 3 times. Now, they did nerf this. What she used to do is, if you had at least 3 mages on the team, on your team, she would give the entire team a debuff immunity. And you're immune to all debuffs too. It wasn't just one, it was like Spike's ability, pretty much. Spike's passive, being immune to all debuffs. It was like that. But you had to have at least 3 mages. And it seems like they nerfed that. Now she has a voice shield. Which is great to an extent, but this kind of tells you what are they going to do with the other mage characters, because first of all, the mages work with each other, and since they changed this mechanic with Yuri, that means a lot of mage teams will be a lot different in the global version. So far, I'm not exactly liking too many of the changes they have made with the global version. I'm not saying it's a terrible game, please understand that. I love Seven Knights. It's just that they've changed a lot of things, and some of the characters they've added aren't as good as they were on the Korean version. Some of the nerfs aren't that great. Don't get me wrong. Sniper is great here. He's really useful. He's actually more useful to me now than he was on the Korean version, because I never really use Sniper too much on the Korean version, because he had a lot of AoE attacks and he wasn't exactly strong for me. I already had some great strong AoE characters, and the fact that he dropped his Awaken ability didn't just attack one person, it attacked everybody on the Korean version. And not only did it attack people, it reduced their HP to 1. It targeted 3 enemies and it reduced their HP to 1. It didn't just inflict 500% physical damage on one enemy. It targeted 3 enemies and dropped their HP down to 1. That was an insane Awakening skill. But he just wasn't that strong, and they came out with this little shield thing on the Korean version, and that made that a little useless. And Karen usually just ends up healing them after their HP has been dropped down to 1. And since they have the extra bar of HP thing, the shield thing I was telling you about, it kind of made the HP drop down to 1 thing kind of useless. So it makes them a little more useful here on the global version. But be that as it may, I still kind of like the dropping HP thing down to 1. And the fact that they changed Yuri's skills up so badly, not in a bad way. I mean, they're still good. I mean, the Void Shield thing makes her pretty deadly, but she doesn't have that really, really great passive that I was hoping she would have. I mean, she got the Void Shield, but she doesn't have the debuff resistance. So that means I might not be adding her to my DPS team here on the global version. But that depends on what they do for the other mages that I have on my DPS team. I won't tell you who those mages are because that'd be giving things away. I'll just tell you that they're very powerful. And I hope when they add those mages, they won't nerf them like they did Yuri. But Yuri's not a bad character. She's still really good, but now that they've nerfed her like that, I don't know if I'll be using her too often. But anyways, that's all the time I have left for this review. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Please do comment and please do subscribe. I love making videos like this all the time. So remember to stay tuned for me because I really, truly do review all the heroes that are released on 7 Nights. So you know what? Mentioning that, I'm going to check really quick if they have awakened anybody else because the global version has this thing of tricking me. Like, they would release one character. I would get information about one awakened character. And then I would make an entire video on that character. And then I go back to the game and I found out there's another character that's been awakened. When I could have just added them to the video. And then I would have to make a completely different video. A separate video altogether. And it would take hours to do. So, I'm glad I checked. And it doesn't look like they've added anybody. So, I'm really happy about that. But anyways, that's all the time I got. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Take it easy for me, alright? Bye.